All right, welcome to episode 45 of the YYC Real Estate Show. We got myself, Sebastian Shiraz, and our guest, Chris Gibbs.
Hi, thanks for having me, guys.
Very excited to get to know more about Chris. Chris is from Gibbs Media. He helps the real estate world filming real estate content for agents. And also, I'm really excited to know what he does on the side as well, which is footprints in nature. So wildlife and nature photography as well. So we'll be getting some cool stories, I hope, from Chris about that.
You bet, sure.
But of course, let's start with your weekly real estate update. Now, this is February 1, so we can also talk about what January looked like. But for the last 7 days, there's been 553 sales. Just double check those numbers for you guys. I know everyone likes to double check my numbers. 523, good thing I checked. 523 sales in the last 7 days. Currently, there is 1,663 active listings. So 1,663 active listings. Very low. Do you know what a balanced market, Chris, would be in Calgary? How many active listings considered a balanced market?
No, it's a balanced market.
It's between 3,500 and 4,000 listings.
Oh, okay, good to know.
So when we're at 1,663,
Yeah.
that means we're still in a seller's market,
Okay,
right?
fair
Not enough supply, demand's always there. So we're still in a seller's market. Actually, in fact, one of the properties we were talking about, Sebastian, a few weeks ago, it was great reno and flip project. It was Bearspaw Road was the address in Brentwood. 51 offers on that place.
Wow.
And it sold for like 130,000 more than asking price.
Yeah.
It was I think $699 and it sold for like $840 or $830.
You're kidding. So it's still happening, I guess, eh?
Yeah, it depends on the property, where it is, the lot. This was like a developer, reno and flip, any contracting company. It was their dream for sure.
I mean, it was a huge bungalow.
Yeah.
Oh, bi-level, yeah.
Yeah. So, top two sales, 2.941, 0 days on market.
Wow.
So sold within hours. And 9,000 less than asking price in Bel Air. Nice one. And then second is in Aspen Woods.
Wow.
Again, 1 day on market, sold for 2,000 more than the asking price. So crazy, right? I mean, it's not a new build, 2018, and still sold for 2,000 more. Let's have a look at this one real quick. Kind of like Las Vegas style on the outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
I like those lights too.
I mean, that's sold in an instant.
Of course, yeah.
That means if it's sold in 1 day, that means that they had no conditions.
Unconditional.
Yeah.
Same with the other one. The very first sale was 0 days on market.
They skipped
hours.
the inspection,
Yeah.
they skipped the financing, and just went straight to the...
Straight, yeah. And then we like to see the two lowest sales in the week. So 161,000 and 165,000. We've been seeing some 140 and 150. So now they're creeping up. And of course, the condo and townhouse market has been really crazy the last 6 months. It's becoming the most affordable sector, of course. People coming in here, Ontario, BC, and they find out they can get something for a quarter or a third of what apartment costs in their town or province, right? So Bankview, 2 beds for 161. Well, look at that. Listed at 119,000 and sold for 161.
What are the condo fees on something like that?
Only 178 a month.
Wow.
But you don't get anything included with that. It's just for sewer, so your water, snow removal, and trash. So every single utility is going to be on top of that, which is rare but kind of cool. And Sonalta, 1 bed, 1 bath, sold for exactly what they were asking, $288 a month for everything except electricity, which is very, very common. Normally with condo fees, you get everything included except electricity. There's a few buildings that also include electricity,
Sure.
So that's cool. And another cool thing is as we battle the housing, I don't want to call it a crisis, but the housing demand and how far behind we are on the amount of homes we're building per year based on what we need and the daily migration here and the increase in population here. So there's a lot of rezoning talk. And so it's been announced and released here. Anyone can just go on the City of Calgary's website and have a look at all these areas in town that are now rezoned. So you'll see orange is already RCG, but this is what's cool. The HGO that we talked about in another episode. So HGO district, that's where you'll see already approval So you'll see it on the edges of some main streets where they're going to allow for a lot of multifamily, multi-unit on a lot where usually they would allow an infill, 2.
Yeah.
So now they're allowing 4 on there,
I see.
sometimes 5, right? And a lot of times what's cool is on these lots here, if it's a corner lot, sometimes they'll even allow those legal suites. So you can put a 4-plex. So it's 8 units because each of them will have a legal suite.
Can you zoom out of the map just so we can see how much of it is being zoned for? Wow.
So yellow is what's, this is all just going to be homes, right? It's all this orange that's up for redesignation.
Wow.
And the dark orange that's already classified for high density.
That's unbelievable.
Right. So a lot of changes happening. So yeah, I mean, if you're sitting on a lot, please reach out to us. We'll buy it. Lots are in demand right now. So that's a quick update. Another thing quickly before we talk to Chris, all about what Chris does. I'm really excited to learn about that. But let me where's home here?
What are you looking for?
Just Krebs. Right there we go. So Krebs now. Just because it's Feb 1, I released on my social media a 29-page link to the monthly report released by Krebs. So this is the report that I shared. But we'll just go over it briefly. So the benchmark price is $572,300 now, and in all of January there was 1,650 sales, 2,100 new listings, 2,137, and inventory is down to 2,150. Months of supply 1.3. Chris, do you know what months of supply mean?
No, you can fill me in.
Yeah. So oftentimes people ask me as well. Even me, I wanted to find out. So I never really cared about that number. What we want to care about is how many days on market, which is 34 average, how many listings there are. But what does months of supply mean? 1.3. It means if everything stopped today, no more new listings and everything that's on the market now, it would take 1.3 months for all that to be sold and taken.
Okay.
So that's how much supply we have. Wow. So in a balanced market, you'll probably see like 3, 2.8, right? When you have 3,500 to 4,000 listings versus this. So what Krebs saying is January sales rose to 1,650 units, as we just talked about. So the rise in these new listings relative to the sales did little to change the low inventory situation, which is what we were talking about. Still, 1,663 listings, very low. So with 21 units in inventory, again, that was when they released. So now they're 1,663, right? So the record low in 2006 was near, what is the record low? Doesn't say. So have a look at this one. I put it on my social media, but you can go to krebs.com and find this link for the public to view. And it's really in depth. It goes about detached, semi-detached, row apartments, and it even goes into surrounding areas on what's been happening. And just click here and you can see the full 29-page report, which I always share all the time. So now let's get to know the man of the hour. So Chris Gibbs of Gibbs Media. So really cool, really high-end videos. That's how I got to know Chris and reached out to Chris. A lot of real estate agents are using him for their content, for their properties, even just for themselves. I see you post a lot for realtors just talking about
informational videos and reels. Yeah, you bet.
So introduce yourself one more time, and then we'll start with some questions we have for you.
Sure. Yeah, no, for sure. So my name is Chris Gibbs. I'm co-owner. My wife and I own Gibbs Media. She handles all the business side of things, and I handle all the creative side of things. We're very tiny. I do the shooting, editing, every single thing to do with creating a video is usually just me. Well, it is just me. So we've been doing that for actually about 5 years today. Actually, 5 years ago today, I left the corporate world of 27 years.
Congratulations, 5-year milestone.
Yeah, today on your special podcast.
Yeah.
Today.
What was the corporate world you were in?
I was in the broadcast media industry, so I was on the technical side. So I was on the operations side running TV stations.
Easy
So I
transition.
CFCN, CDTV. We launched MTV Canada
Wow.
way back in the day.
Yeah.
And for the last, I guess, 10 years of my broadcast career, I was operating Shaw pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So running UFC, WWE,
Wow.
bringing all the technical signals in and transmitting them all
Sweet.
across Canada. And yeah, no, I decided, I always had a love for photography. I did web designing back in the day, and, I was in a leadership role for the last kind of 20 years, and I decided I just want to get back to hands-on, work for myself. And, instead of working for one company, now I work for lots of people on a day-to-day basis, right? But it's different, right? So we stepped away. We started Gibbs Media, and it was originally Gibbs Photography. And after the first year, 95% of what I did was video. So we changed the name to Media, and the rest was history. So for the last 5 years, we do a lot of real estate video tours, agents on camera, off camera, reels. I do sports action photography as well, all the video editing. I do the odd real estate photography, but I don't do measurements, so I stick to the creative side. And really, my passion is the video side for sure. And I'm also a voiceover artist as well, so we do that too. And my wife is actually a voiceover artist as well, Jennifer.
Okay.
So, yeah. So
Anything we would know?
No, well, she actually has pretty big. During the Olympics, she was the voice of for Sobeys there in CBC for a little bit. So if I had the spot for you, you'd recognize it if you watched the Olympics. For the last 2 Olympics, actually, she was the voice there. So it's pretty good.
Just checking out his website here. So if you want to go to gibbsmedia.ca, these are some of his cool videos.
Oh, I guess now that you say that, I also do. I'm a advanced drone pilot as well. So drone photography, videography on that side too. So that's kind of the Gibbs Media side of things for sure. So,
I actually got my basic drone pilot's license as well, but I never ended up buying a drone, so
oh really?
I never used it. But
I decided to get the advanced license just because the communities, especially Calgary, it's really difficult to fly. A mini drone is okay. It's usually pretty good around that, but with a drone higher than 249 grams, it's really tough with the basic license because, for example, Seton, the South Health campus, there's a heliport right on the hospital there, right? So pretty much if you had a basic license and a drone bigger than 249, you can't really fly in Seton. So with the advanced license, you have more flexibility for the bigger, higher quality video.
Yeah, flying in the airport zones and.
So I still I shy away a little bit from downtown Calgary. Downtown Calgary has some other rules that are really interesting, but a lot of the community stuff, and it's good because the drone video really shows a good integration into the video tours themselves.
Yeah,
can kind of give an idea of where the location is. You lift up there. You can pan around the city, show that there's the hospital, and there's this and that, and kind of get an idea of where the home is located.
I love those things, like when you include the photos for like the listings where it shows like amenities nearby, and you literally fly above the house. It's like it's right here.
Yeah,
here's a park.
Yes,
here's the grocery store, right? So
for sure,
I really like those. Yeah,
and we do a lot of top-down video and stuff like that too. But you're right. I mean, the ones that you pan, I put arrows in there so you can see what is nearby. Those tend to be. You really show you where the location is for sure. So.
Amazing.
So that's the video side.
Yeah, so what I have pulled up behind you is also what Chris does, which is called footprintsinnature.ca. So talk to us about when you got into this and your passion for nature photography, like what we're seeing here.
No, absolutely.
So where was this?
That's actually that's Mount Rundle in Banff there behind.
Nice.
So and then I've been doing photography for about 10 years, I guess, more seriously. My kids are grown adults now, but growing up, I took photos of them. They're both black belts in Taekwondo when they played hockey, and both girls, and so we did a lot of that growing up. And then I got into the nature side of thing. I love landscape photography and met a gentleman I followed for a number of years, Joe Desjardins. He's a wildlife photographer. He's been for over 30 years, and we became really good friends. And I got a lot into wildlife side of things there. And him and I actually now also host a podcast and a YouTube channel.
And what's your podcast?
The podcast is The Nature Photo Guys.
The nature photo, I like that.
Yeah, well, Joe came up with it. We were joking around about, actually, we are the guys and we're the nature photo guys. So we actually run workshops and teach photo, teach video, get out there and yeah. So for example, I'll spend a week in the Rocky Mountains photographing grizzlies in the spring and the elk in the fall and then actually have the honor of going to Churchill this year, so I get to photograph the polar bears. So I'm looking forward to that too.
Ooh, the biggest bears around.
Yeah.
So this is it. The nature photo guys. There's Chris on the right.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Yeah, so we do a lot of talking about camera gear and it's all about teaching, right? We want to, we want people to understand, getting out in nature, taking photos, what they need. We talk to people who are beginners all the way up to advanced, and we interview photographers all around North America right now. We just did an interview last night from a gentleman in Pennsylvania, high end. He's done National Geographic video work as well and stuff.
Nice.
But yes, for me, I've definitely started migrating to the video side of the nature side as well. I mean, it's just a natural fit. I mean, I've been involved in video for 30 years, right? So, and do all the editing. So it's a natural fit for me to move over to that. And there's times that when you're photographing animals, it's pretty busy out there at times. You'd be surprised at how many people are actually out in the Rockies photographing during the elk rut or grizzly season. And I found we're all photographing the same animal and we're all trying to sell our artwork and prints. So I thought I'd started doing video and capturing the behavior of the animals, and that's what I've started doing. And there was a recent video I just released last week, I guess, that's of a hawk owl, and I've actually used my voiceover work to add it to that, kind of make it. I
saw that post on your Instagram. You did a small clip of it.
I did, yeah. So it's kind of like a 30-second clip with my voiceover attached to it, and I thought, you know what? A lot of people are just posting little video clips of wildlife. Why not I add to that, give them a bit of a learning about the animal, and researching it, I actually learned about the animal as well, and it was interesting. So having that to add to that, and then down the road, hopefully creating more documentary type work, getting into that. So
is there rules for for wildlife photography about how close you can get to the animals or
Absolutely, So every park kind of has different rules. For example, don't quote me on this because I got to remember off the top of my head, but I mean, for example, the big elk and all that, I think it's 30 meters you got to be away from. Grizzlies, it's 100 meters outside your vehicle.
Wow.
It all just depends on where you're located. You can get closer if you're in your vehicle, but like we always say, ethical. Well, you can say that, but we've seen people do that, and you should see the holes in the side of their vehicle where the elk rams it and puts holes in there, right? So with their antlers. So it's about the ethical photography of wildlife as well, and get your shots, get out of there, leave the animal alone. Don't get too don't disturb the animal.
Yeah. Is it tough to find the animals? Going out there?
It depends on you go out there at the time of year. I mean, the best time to shoot wildlife is first 3 hours of sunlight and the last 3 hours of sunlight. So really, wherever you're out there, if you're there from 11 to 4 in the afternoon, you probably rarely see wildlife. It's really in the early mornings in the afternoon, dusk to dawn, basically, that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, it's depending on the time of year is where you go looking for certain types of wildlife, and it's more prominent in those times of years for sure.
Okay.
So, for example, grizzlies, the spring, black bears, all that's usually the grizzlies of the spring. As it gets closer to the summer, they start moving up the mountain and not as prominent.
Do you follow them for a while after you find them, making sure you're getting the right shots and everything? Do you just kind of keep?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, it's hard because if you're by yourself, it's okay. You keep an eye on them. I can tell you the majority of all my video and photo footage of grizzlies are from a vehicle. Oh, okay. I'm not getting out and walking down a trail.
I cut the Scooby snack. Just
No. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
I was gonna ask you about the polar bear one you're planning to do. So where do you guys stay in? Is it kind of those ice fishing tents or
No, not the polar bears. Actually, I've never done that. I've never been to Churchill, so this will be a new experience for myself as well. But for the grizzly side of things, we're pretty much camping. We're in our vehicles, or I have my truck and I have a bed in the back, and I'll go out there and camp for 10 days in the back of my truck and get up there first. There's times I'm not at the campsite in light at all. We're gone before light happens, and we're back after it gets
No, it's
dark,
gone,
right? So
yeah.
so it's a lot of driving around. In the fall, you're hiking in, looking for elk and different types of animals. You come across fox, and I haven't come across a lynx yet. I've been so close to a lynx, and that's kind of on my bucket list. I drove somewhere and then pulled over, and then the guy pulled behind me and he said, a lynx just ran behind your vehicle.
Oh,
They
are you
roam around the
serious?
streets here.
Bobcats.
Bobcats, okay,
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Lynx.
Yeah,
Lynx are
so,
different for sure.
Yeah, but
Everyone thinks they're the same though, right?
oh yeah, they're definitely similar for sure. So
Let's have a
Lynx hair? No.
no, it's not lynx hair.
Lynx
Yeah,
versus
I just
black.
want to see the differences.
Okay, good. I was worried you're gonna find
A
like a
lynx
fighting
will have
video.
a solid jet black tail, whereas a bobcat has a black and white tail.
there you go. But yeah, no, it's fun. It's getting out there, just getting out in nature. I mean, it's different. You leave this world, and then you get out in nature, and it's just for your mental health. It's just so positive, and you're just out in the woods and just on your own, and just photographing and capturing the behavior of these animals and being able to share it with the world and share it with people that may not be able to get to those locations ever. It's pretty cool.
How do you guys ever like collide with hunters at all? Being like, it's like animal season.
No.
Let me take this picture first.
No.
Hold up 1 second.
Yeah, don't shoot the moose. I need a photograph. No, we're a lot of times we're in national parks, and it's illegal to hunt in national parks. So a lot, Banff and Jasper and Waterton and the Kootenays and a lot of that kind of stuff. So it's Kananaskis as well. You're out there a bunch too.
But are you guys required to wear high vis when you're going out there? Probably not.
No,
you guys aren't.
I guess if you're in
more
hunting territory, it'd be different. But not where we're going. But I literally carry a rangefinder, like my golf rangefinder. I carry it with me all the time just to make sure that we're not too close to the wildlife. I mean, I don't want to actually be that close to the wildlife because when I'm carrying a long lens, I'm going to be too close. I want to be back a distance so I can get that photo
shot.
right?
And you want the photos of them in their natural form, not
for sure.
alert or can see, smell you, right?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's not really. You're not really tracking animals. You're not going in and doing that. But there's a lot of hiking and hoping to come across them and catching behavior. And 2 years ago, I caught an elk fight, which was pretty cool. And that's on my YouTube page, which was pretty cool. Seeing those big guys on the Footprints in Nature YouTube page, you'll find it. But seeing those big guys collide and trying to stay back far enough that you're out of their way, because when they're fighting, they're just spinning around and you don't know where they're going to go. And it's, it could be pretty dangerous. So that's where the long lenses come in handy. You're out of the way, you're not near them, and still being able to capture some scenarios.
There's the hawk owl.
There's the hawk owl with the voiceover for sure. So
The northern hawk owl, a native of North America, Europe, and Asia, has a distinctive hawk-like appearance and
Wow.
hunting prowess.
Really nice coat,
Nocturnal
right?
counterparts, this captivating bird
and that's pretty cool. You don't really ever see hawk
It has
owls.
a mouse.
Yeah, it's got a vole and its
right.
talons there. So yeah, if you go down there, you'll come across the elk fight for sure. That's the bugling, but yeah, right there, bull elk clash, just right down in the second
right there.
There you go. So that one was, of course, the famous YouTube ads. But
Of course.
Is that one of your favorite moments as a photographer?
seeing the fight like that,
Yeah.
oh for sure, yeah. Seeing any interaction or behavior when they're like, for example, we go out and we're photographing grizzlies and seeing grizzlies all the time. But majority of time in the spring, all they're doing is eating dandelions. A lot of the time, that's all they're doing. And we had some great interactions last year. They actually came like right into the campsite, and they were like 40 feet from me while I was editing in the back of my truck, just walking across a mom and her cubs or whatever. And so seeing those things are pretty cool. But you got to be careful. There was last spring a big grizzly and those cubs took down an elk calf right beside a trailer in the campground. And so it's when they get that close to humans, you just got to be careful. Kids are camping, riding their bikes around and all that. So yeah, you report that in just to make sure that they're aware of that and hope
Everybody's staying safe.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah.
So that's a crazy story, but do you have any personal crazy story, memorable story experience about filming in the wildlife?
Well, the elk fight was a pretty big one. I really liked that. That was pretty interesting because you could actually see like what happens is during the elk rut, the big bulls don't like each other anymore, right? So in the rest of the year, they're all hanging out, but you'll see a big bull with like 30 cows and like female elk, and you'll have them there, and you'll see another big bull come over, and he wants those cows, and he'll come, and they kind of square off, and you see that happening, and the one bull pushes his cows to his side and their cows to their side, and they start squaring off, and that happens, and it's pretty interesting.
You see that sometimes in downtown Calgary too.
Yeah, Cowboys if you're there. Yeah, for sure. But good point. Yeah, I'm sure you do. So, oh man. But,
Transitioning into that about YYC, we always ask all our guests, Chris, if there was one thing you could say that you love about YYC, and if there was one thing you could change, what would that be?
Well, I'm a little biased about YYC. The reason I got into real estate, photography and videography, I really have a passion on the architectural side. My dad was an architect in the city of Calgary for years and years and years. He had one of the biggest companies in Western Canada for architecture and urban design and interior design, and still exists today.
What's the name?
It was Gibbs Gage Architects.
Gibbs Gage.
And he's retired, and so is Doug Gage or whatever, but now they've renamed it GGA Architects. But there's a lot of buildings in downtown Calgary that I can drive down and go, my dad designed that and that. And seeing it come to fruition. He'd wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning and have an idea and draw it on the back of a business card.
Nice.
And like the SAIT, for example, the curved building of SAIT, I seen that on a piece of paper, and then all of a sudden it becomes that. And seeing that, growing up to that, it's, I'm proud to say that a lot of those buildings, so that's something I wouldn't change because I love seeing that. But that's more of a personal side of things for sure. I'm not really sure if I'd change anything on the I don't know what there would be to change. What do you guys think on that side?
The common answer on what they would change is like, I think public transportation is not as good as some other big cities in Canada, so that's a big one.
Fair enough, yeah.
And of course you can't do much about traffic. People are like, well, rush hour in the morning and at 5 p.m. is kind of bad, but it's, what do we do?
Well, Stony Trails definitely helped, like the ring road
finally complete,
connected.
Yeah.
I love that. There's places I can get to the farmers market in by Olympic Park. I'm way down southeast. I can zip around there pretty quick, and so that's nice to see that. But no, I love the parks like Fish Creek Park. It's just from the nature side of things, you don't have to go very far to go and see wildlife. You can literally go into Fish Creek Park or Carburn Park or some of these other parks that we have, see deer, see great horned owls, see beavers, see all this types of wildlife. So from a wildlife side of things, just being able to escape without driving to the mountains right close by is something pretty cool. It's not what I'd change. I love that too.
Yeah,
but,
it is great.
I don't know. So.
That's a big one too, like that we get when we ask what do people love about YYC, and they just say proximity to wildlife, hikes, the mountains.
Yes,
so
absolutely. Yeah,
geographically, for sure. we're blessed, and everyone's coming here. Please come on over. We're set to have
keep it coming.
Set to have a record 2024. I imagine it's already been a very busy January, so looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. And love the interaction and you being here, and thank you again for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me on.
We'd love to come on your podcast if you ever have availability. Let us know.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Well, if you get a camera and start photographing wildlife and nature, you're there.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, actually, I remember when I was at the landfill, right? Talk about wildlife in Calgary.
Yeah.
I was at the landfill, and I saw this coyote chasing this young deer. Right, around this pond, and I was like, wow, Calgary just filled.
Oh, sure.
With even at the landfill, they're just doing their thing. Yeah.
Well, you'd be surprised. I mean, like even I live in the southeast, and we hear coyotes howling almost every single night, and you see them running behind us in the park, and
running behind you at the park. Yeah.
Well,
not towards you.
Behind us in the park. Yeah. Well, you got to be careful. There are little dogs that go missing and stuff. So that does happen. So
that's been a big thing. A lot of small dogs, they've been getting really bold.
Yeah,
the coyotes
for a while.
They have for sure. Yeah. There's some video I've seen that the coyotes coming up the back fences when there's a dog out there, and you can see the eyes glowing, and we definitely see it quite a bit. But we're living in their territory too, right? So you got to respect that. So.
Yeah, COVID really changed that a lot. The nature just started coming in a little more when there was less and less people out.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And you brought up COVID. I mean, like the Gibbs Media side of our business, when I left, it was 5 years ago, and a year into it, COVID hit. So for the first, once I got that going, 18 months later, it was a little bit of a struggle getting the business going. But I think it really helped on the video side, on the real estate videos, that it helped people looking and watching the video tours and watching people actually go through the houses. The video side of the real estate tours help a lot because where the photos can't do justice, the agent can come on camera, show, this kitchen does this or that or whatever, and be able to, bless you.
Thank you.
And be able to show something that the photos can't come across. So, but yeah, you're right. I mean, COVID, with COVID, a lot of people are going out to the parks as well. So, yeah. So.
There's good and bad with all things.
There is,
so.
yeah, for sure.
Definitely. So how can people reach you?
They can reach me if they go to gibbsmedia.ca. That's our website. You can reach us through there, or info@gibbsmedia.ca. And give me a call. I'd love to chat. All the videos we do on the real estate side of things are custom to the agent themselves. We believe in creating their vision and growing their brand. It's no cookie cutter thing, and we want to make sure we build a foundation and build the brand of the agent. And don't worry, I mean, if you're afraid to be on camera, it's okay. I mean, I'm there to help coach. If there's not enough energy on the first take, we'll do it again. We'll do it 30 times if that's fine. I'm totally there. I'm super patient, and I'm more than willing to stay as long as it takes to make the home and you as an agent look as professional as possible.
So I'll quickly show one before we wrap it up here. And Mary Angela is who I met. We have monthly networking events, and I met Mary Angela there. So saw all her social media, and that's how I got to know Chris. So we'll quickly just show what Chris is talking about.
So excited and proud to bring this listing onto the market. With 2 beds, 1 bath plus a den, just under 900 square feet, this fully renovated corner unit is coming onto the market under $290,000 in the inner city community of Glenbrook. Stay tuned. This unit is a stunner.
Was that a one-take situation?
I don't remember actually. I mean, we do a lot of other things as well. She does some bloopers, so she's released a blooper video too.
Nice.
That's fun.
I have to tell you that she should be on Home and Garden television. She's one of the best. She's one of the best by far. So she's super nice, and she's awesome. She makes it easy to film for sure because it's most of the time she gets it, but there are some times that we do it again.
Yeah, shout out to Mary Angela. We need to get her on the show for an episode 2, but she's busy making videos with Chris. Yeah, see, like capturing this kind of stuff and what it would be like on the balcony day to day, like the photo's not gonna do the same, right?
No, for sure. And sometimes, if you're going into a den or if you're going into some places have like these hidden doors and you hit this, so you can't really show that through a photo, but being able to demonstrate or pull out a drawer that's got really nice sliders or something that you want to pinpoint, it's super nice to be on video. And, I always say that if an agent's going to be on video as an intro, they should do an extra as well, because the extra is more of a kind of a bookend, and that's where you do your call to action and throw out how they get a hold of you. But there are times that some people do voiceovers throughout, or on camera throughout, or just intros and extras, and that's it. Yeah. And then we do drone integration, all that kind of stuff.
Well, maybe I shouldn't say this, but sometimes the photos can be incredibly deceiving for listings too, making rooms feel huge or really small.
Fair enough. Yeah, for
so
sure.
Definitely a video definitely helps. Mostly for out-of-town buyers.
Yeah.
I mean, I get a lot of requests, can I get a video tour, and I love it when agents already have it ready. I can just send it their way, so I don't have to go to a listing and walk through the video. Just 5 minutes of me just breathing heavy.
Us realtors, 6 espressos, shaky hands.
Well, I mean, she's told me, she gets phone calls just for her video, from her videos. And the cool part about that is that she's on camera. People get to know her already.
Right.
They see her. They see her interactions, and they see her on camera.
Big smile.
They know her already. And what you get on camera, that's who she is in real life.
She is.
And that's what I pride myself on. The people that go on camera, the agents that go on camera, I really try to bring themselves out. Video can do a great service to people. It can also do a great disservice to people. So I always try to make sure that they look as professional as possible, right? So
well, thanks again, and we look forward to doing business together in the real estate world. And
I look forward to it.
Definitely keep an eye on footprints in nature and see all the cool shots. We're really looking forward to the polar bear shots that you might
I think we're going to do a podcast on the way to Churchill as well, and put that kind of together. So it should be fun. We got lots of plans. So.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's great, yeah.
And if anybody's interested in my nature workshop as well, you can check it out through the footprintsinnature.ca site as well. So
we'll tag everything for everyone as usual.
Sounds good.
And hopefully we'll do a follow-up and do another episode with you and see how that went.
Sure, sounds great, guys.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you both for having me. Appreciate it.
And we'll see you all next week.